This is a Coachman Pastiche 462, just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site. In the front locker you have your two gas bottle tie downs, carry a maximum of two 6 kilogram propane gas bottles at any point on the caravan. The pipework that goes into the front of the bottle is a reverse thread fitment, so you need to turn that the opposite way to release the fitment. And then up on the bulkhead you have your gas regulator built into the van and gas isolator switch here should you ever need to use it. Coming down the side of the caravan, you've got your wind down legs on either side at the front to stabilise the van while it is on site. They're only there for stabilising, not lifting the caravan. You've then got your battery box and your mains power lead coming into the side of the caravan. Again, the mains power comes to the caravan from the site you're on and straight into the side of the caravan. And the leisure battery will give you your 110 amp leisure or power from the caravan itself if you're off grid. Water pump connection, very simple to use. You've got a blue trigger on the side here, you pull back to release, pull it out the side of the van to release it. So give it a little wobble as it comes and then push it in to lock it in place. I'll show you how to fill the system once we go inside the van. And you've got your pickup pipe that drops down inside the aqua roll itself. Heating and hot water flow, very simple to use. Lift the cover off to remove it. Do advise you remove this cover before ever starting the heating and hot water on electric or gas. And you would have to remove it on gas completely to make sure it does ignite on the gas. Wheel nuts and motor mover, we're going to torque the wheel nuts to the correct setting before the caravan leaves site, and we're also going to demonstrate the motor mover to you as well before you leave site with the van. Back of the van, you've got your toilet flush tank. Put the key in, open the flap up and drop it down. Take 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid. In the bottom you've got your toilet waste cassette. You'll release it by pulling out the orange handle and turn the neck out 90 degrees, tip the waste away. The grey cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid. On the side of the van, on the back of the cassette, you've also got an orange pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away, it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. When you're travelling, we do advise you drain this tank down, and just up the top here, have a black pipe that pops out. Take the cap out the end here, and you'll be able to drain down the water tank, the toilet flush tank itself. At the back of the van you've got your two grey waste pipes, so the fresh water that goes in the front has to come out somewhere when it's been through the sinks and the shower, and the two grey pipes go into them large diameter holes and down into the waste master underneath. Then got your wind down leg on either side, as I said. Coming down the door side of the van, you've got your fridge vents to allow the hot air out the side of the back of the fridge unit. The vent here will allow you, when you've got the blown air on, to have heat coming out the side of the van. Then got your 230 volt leisure socket, so you can have power coming out to your awning. Storage locker for underneath the front seating area. Barbecue gas point next to that, and then you've got your last wind down leg in that circle at the front. Coming on to the inside of the caravan now. Above the door as we come in, we've got your master power switch. You're going to need to have this on to have power going to the rest of the caravan. You've got your interior lights, or the 12 volt interior lights, which are on the roof. So as you can see, when I turn that off, they'll go on and off. The two lights at the front either side you will need to turn off manually. And the switches for those are just below them on the bottom of that cabinet on either side. Water pump switch I'll come back to in a moment. Voltmeter at the top here is for the power in the 12 volt battery. So when I hit volts, it'll bring up the power that's available in that battery. And on the right hand side you've got your awning light, which is a light just on the outside of the door. Now to fill the water system up, which is the first thing we're going to do on board this van, we open all the taps up on the hot side of the water system, as you can see. Obviously you can see I've already filled this system up. You'll open the taps in the bathroom and on the shower also. You'll then come underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the caravan. And underneath this seat you should just be about to see there a yellow valve. That yellow valve needs to be flat with the floor as it is at the moment to fill the water system up, and upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat to drain the water system down. So once that valve is flat with the floor as it is now, and the aqua roll is connected on the outside, we can come back over to our control panel above the door, turn the water pump on, and the water system will start filling up. As you see, when it builds up pressure, it'll get a red light come on there to indicate it is working. And once you have water running out of every tap continuously on board the caravan, as we have now, we can shut all of the taps back off. But you've got to make sure you've got water coming out of all the hot taps continuously before you do turn that off. Just below the seat on the right hand side, you'll see these two switches. Now the switch on the left hand side here is your electric water heating, so you're going to need to turn that on for the electric water heater to work. And on the left hand side you have your option to run your gas water heating. So to operate it, you spin the outer grey dial around to the flame symbol, and then you can control the temperature of the water if it ignites on this dial in the centre between 30 and 70 degrees. We do advise when you're showering on board the caravan to use the gas as a boost for the water system, so you'd use the electric to warm it up initially if you're on grid. If you're off grid, obviously you'd have to use the gas solely, but then we do, like I said, we do advise you to use that gas to boost it. To turn the gas supply back off to the water heater, you'll spin it back to the off position just here. In the back of here, you can't quite see it in the video, I don't think, there is actually a green light just here, and next to it there'll be a red light to let you know if it fails to ignite on gas. So you here in person, you may not be able to see that quite in the video. There we go. Just see the green light there when I show you over the top, and the red light next to it. So like I said, at the moment, because the gas is turned off, it has failed to ignite. But when it is turned on, the gas supply, it will ignite straight up. So that's your water heating on gas and electric. Next up, we're going to take you to the heating for the caravan itself. Now, there's two ways, again, of running the heating for the caravan. Gas or electric. The dial you see here, just below the microwave, is the electric heating. So to turn the power onto the heater, you'll either decide 500, 1000 or 2000 watts. What this relates to is the amount of power coming into the caravan from the caravan site you're on. You'll spin the outer dial around to the control, or to the power level you want to have it on. And again, you'll notice a green light appears in here. Then you control the temperature of the heater on the dial in the centre here, between 1 and 9. The higher you go, obviously the hotter the heater will be. And the higher you go with the power level down the side here, the more efficient the heating will be. So it'll warm up quicker and potentially more temperature to it as well. If you want to run gas heating on board the caravan, you can do that by spinning the dial round on the top right hand side of the heater. Spin it around between 10 and 9. Hold down the gas valve and hit the igniter on the right hand side here at the same time. So continue to hold down the gas valve. You'll eventually see a pilot light in this window down the front of the heater. Once that pilot light is lit, you need to continue holding down the gas valve for a further 5 to 10 seconds, then slowly releasing the valve once it has been ignited for a short period of time. Then you'll be able to control the heat of the heater on gas on the dial on top. And to isolate the gas supply, you spin it back round to the 0 or just past it to isolate the gas to the heater. On the left hand side top of the heater, you've got your fan speed on top here to control the fan speed. The dot in the centre is the heat coming out the front of the heater. However, the wave symbol on the left hand side is continuous blown air. So essentially it works a bit like then the heating system in your car, and it'll come out the vents around the caravan, as you can see at the front there. If we have it on A, it's continuous on the left hand side, and on the right hand side it's automatic blown air. What this essentially does is it allows the thermostat to control when the blown air comes on and off. So if it cools down, it will turn the heating back on, and if it warms up, it will cut it back out. Again, in the centre, heat will come out the front of the heater itself. To run the fridge, you need to press the power button on the front of the fridge. Once it loads up, you'll see initially it goes to 12 volt, 240 mains power, which is what the plug symbol here represents. You can then control the temperature of the fridge on the button on the right hand side. The higher you go with these bars, the colder the fridge will be. Hit the button again, or hit the button on the left hand side, it will change over to 12 volt mode. Essentially what that's doing is allowing the car that you tow with to operate the fridge as a cool box. So like I said, it'll only work when you connect it to the car, and when you are connected to the car, this blue light here will go solid, and the number 10 here and the spanner symbol will disappear. There is no temperature control on 12 volt mode, as it is just a cool box. Press the button again on the left hand side and it will take us to our gas mode. The blue light here is essentially your pilot light, and if it fails to ignite on gas, it will flash that blue light to indicate it has failed, and it will bring up a number 9 here and a spanner symbol again to indicate it has failed. To turn the fridge off, on gas, you can also control the temperature on the button on the right hand side. Turn the fridge off, you'll press and hold the power button and it will turn the fridge off completely. Microwave, hob, grill and oven, or whether very much like your household items with your igniter on the front for the hob and the cooker. However, the microwave will only work on 240 mains from the power on site. It will not work from a 12-volt supply. Coming into the bathroom now, you have your toilet flush on top of the toilet. You then have your toilet full indicator light on the left-hand side top of the toilet. And then you have your toilet seat itself that turns for your convenience, as you can see. Then below the toilet you have your grey waste handle, which you need to open up to allow the waste into the cassette under the van. And you can close it back up when you're not using the toilet, and you'll also need to have it in that closed position when you are removing the toilet waste cassette from underneath the caravan. One last thing I'm going to show you before I finish the video is the trip switches and the fuses. So they are underneath this seat on the right hand side also. Down the left hand side here you have your 12-volt fuses for everything on board the caravan, and they're all individually marked. Then on the right hand side here you have your household style trip switches. So to operate these, or to ever check if you've got power coming into the caravan from the site you're on, if you hit the test switch here and this blue switch on the right hand side drops down, it means there's power coming from the site you're on. If it does not drop down and it stays in the raised position, it means there is no power coming from the caravan site you're on to the caravan itself. As you can see, the two trip switches on the left hand side are for your lights, water heater and charger on mains. On the right hand side, your fridge, fire and sockets on mains. So this is a Coachman Pastiche 462. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate the business and we look forward to seeing you here soon. Thank you for now. Bye bye.